After Adam Dalgleish finds Hilary Robart's body, Teresa Blaney lies to the police for her father, giving him an alibi. At the power station, Caroline Amphlett, Alex Mayer's PA, persuades her boyfriend, Jonathan Reeves, to give her a false alibi too. Chief Inspector Rickards is worried. He's not convinced that the latest murder was the Whistler's work. Toby Gledhill, who has gone missing, returns to the power station and commits suicide by throwing himself onto the nuclear pile cap.
Sorry.
It's all right.
You gave me a fright. I'm not supposed to be doing this.
I won't tell on you.
Hang on a minute and I'll clear a path for you.
It's okay, I can go round.
Haven't I seen you up by the Abbey ruins?
That's all you got, then?
Looks like it for the time being, anyway.
Keep looking, darling.
What, you were expecting it?
Something, perhaps, but nothing is final.
Well, what was it? Depression? What?
Probably.
Triggered by what? Work? Home life? Money?
Anything. Nothing rational about a manic depressive. Well, you met him, Commander. You knew him after a fashion.
Yes, but I wouldn't describe him as a manic depressive.
Excuse me. Yes. What, already? Tell them no comment. Nothing to say.
Well, thanks. So what was he like?
I don't think he was depressed. He was young, idealistic.
Aren't we all? Why did he kill himself, though? He must have been committed to the work he was doing here. What was he, a physicist?
Yes, and a statistician. Working in the field of nuclear safety.
Is that what they were doing here?
Something to do with cutting out human error by advanced computer control of the reactors.
Do you think he was capable of murder?
a long way, small package.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
It's all right, Neil's not here.
Yes, I got the stuff. Thanks for backing it up. Is this all there is? A what? A boat? No, I know nothing about that. Yeah, well, I'll check. Thanks. Bye.
Commander Dalglish?
Yes.
Neil Pascoe from the caravan up by the beach.
Ah, yeah. I met Amy, rescuing seagulls.
Yeah, she's always rescuing things. Me included. Sorry to disturb you like this when you're probably wanting some peace and quiet, but I need to talk to you.
You better come in. Thanks.
I wouldn't have come if there was anyone else I could discuss it with, but there isn't. Even Amy.
Your mother's worried.
I know.
Oh, not the old worry. Radiation, the vengeance of God. Oh, it's all these murders. Now this suicide at your power station.
Yeah.
I've tried to tell her it's all coincidence, but still haven't caught him then.
The Whistler?
Mm.
No. All been interviewed by the police. Everyone who knew her. Makes you start looking at people differently. Everyone's talking about motives and alibis. Someone asks you a simple favour and you begin to wonder why.
What sort of favour?
Oh, anything. Covering for them if they can't make a shift, that sort of thing.
Well, it all comes down to how you feel about lying, I suppose.
Suppose you suspected someone was lying to you, and you cared about that person.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You must get to the truth. What kind of lies?
Oh, nothing serious. Say a story about their family.
Who is this person, son?
Oh, it's nobody. It's just a hypothetical question. Have you got any prizes in line this year?
Well, after the spring we've had, no chance. Lucky to get a mention, let alone prizes. You'll be bringing her home to tea one day soon. This young lady you've just met.
Oh, Caroline. Yes. Yes, of course.
Yes, well, your mother will like that. You know how she fusses. She means well, though.
Yes.
He wanted to help you with this.
Yes.
Well, didn't that strike you as odd? A research physicist offering to join the opposition.
I was flattered, too. I mean, that he'd come to me first. It's not as if Panup has made much of an impact. Not really. Even the initials were a bit of a mistake. I wanted something that people would remember. Something with a bite to it. But Panup... well, it's a bit of a laugh, isn't it? Anyway, the business with Toby never came to anything. We were on the beach when Miss Robarts appeared, hardly wearing a stitch. She just smiled at him and invited him back to her cottage. It was weird.
And he went?
Like a lamb to the slaughter.
Have you told the police about this?
Didn't seem important.
That is for them to judge.
They've already given me a going over about her because of that libel action. Oh, and another thing I didn't understand, they took away our dog lead. An old one hanging up behind the door. The dog went off months ago. What did they want with the lead?
Did you see Toby after that?
Not until last night. He came round to the caravan about 10. A bit drunk. Timmy had just gone to sleep. He kept shouting and waking him up.
Was he angry?
No, just exuberant. We shared a bottle of wine and generally put the world to rights.
Any idea what was on his mind?
He said Miss Robarts had talked to him about his job. Put pressure on him to stay.
What sort of pressure?
I don't know, he didn't say.
Blackmail. The police will need to be told.
Why? Is it really going to help them solve her murder?
Look, you're suggesting that Hilary Robarts was blackmailing Toby into staying on at the power station.
I never said that.
You didn't have to.
Each reactor comprises 26,488 fuel elements, which stay inside the reactor for between 5 and 10 years. These are charged by the fueling machines over there. Each of these fueling machines is approximately 23 feet high and weighs 115 tons. It can hold 14 fuel elements, as well as all the other components necessary for the refueling cycle.
We're not supposed to, you know.
I know, but there isn't any other way I can find out Caroline's birthday. I'd hate her to think I'd forgotten. It's only the date, honestly.
Couldn't you come back when Mrs. Simpson's here?
Well, what time will she be back from lunch?
2 o'clock.
2? Wouldn't take a minute.
You'd better stand by the door and keep an eye out.
Right.
It's not as easy as it looks. Caroline Sophia St. John Amphlett. Date of birth, 14th of October, 1960. Place of birth, Aldershot, England. Nationality, British. Father, Charles Roderick St. John Amphlett, deceased. Army officer. Mother, Patricia Caroline Amphlett. It's a good thing you checked.
Yeah.
What'll you do to celebrate?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
If the weather holds, you could always have a picnic on the boat.
What boat? We don't have a boat.
Well, Caroline does. Cabin cruiser at Wells. Well, I only know because my uncle was thinking of buying it, but she beat him to it.
When was that?
Oh, about 2 weeks ago. Didn't she tell you?
I probably wasn't listening.
It's terrible about Dr. Gledhill. On top of these murders.
Yes.
I mean, you've no idea how much extra work it's meant for us here in Estabs. Well, police wanting files and addresses and heaven knows what. Yesterday they asked for Toby Gledhill's file, and where did it eventually turn up? The director's office. Never signed out. How are we to know? You won't tell about this, will you? Not even Miss Amphlett.
Of course not.
Mrs. Simpson would absolutely kill me.
How's your wife?
Oh, still pregnant, still with Mummy. Oh, we've had an identification of the shoe print found by Hilary Robart's body.
Really?
Yeah, what's it, Bumble? Like this, and size 9, right foot.
Should I? I'm sure I've seen a pair like this recently. Up on the headland.
On whose feet?
Don't... Yes, I do. It was the church jumble collection up at the old rectory.
When was that?
Oh, when I first came up here. I took some stuff over.
The old rectory, that's Mrs. Dennison, isn't it?
Yeah. There's something I want to mention about her. I don't know if you remember, but she was the teacher at the centre of that race row in London 3 or 4 years ago.
Yes, yes, I remember that.
Well, it won't be an easy interview, that's all I'm saying.
Oh, really? Well, let's see.
I haven't had lemon curd since I was a child. Lemon curd and gingerbread men. My mother used to make them.
Oh, wonderful. Mine spent the least possible time in the kitchen. She was a terrible cook. Was criticised by my father. He eventually paid a local woman to come in and cook for us. Yours was a happy childhood, of course.
Not much money, but plenty of love. Enough of that for the first 10 years and hardly anything else matters. No love, nothing matters.
No.
I can't stop thinking about Toby.
Yes, it's a terrible waste. He was very bright.
Yes.
He could also be a pain, of course. It's not going to help Alex, any of this.
You mean it might damage his chances for the new job?
I don't suppose you approve of my brother's sort of ambition, do you? It's not just for him. The whole of the nuclear power industry's in turmoil. They need someone like Alex. They need someone who's got his strength and his ambition to pull everything together and restore morale.
Yes.
Sorry. It's my hobby horse. What's the matter?
I'm not looking forward to the police questioning me about Hillary's death.
Why?
I shall have to tell them that I met her before I came here.
You didn't mention that.
No. Martin knew her before we were married. She was no girlfriend, I think. We met her one evening at the theatre. Was obviously been keen on her. Her father was Peter Robarts, remember?
Should I?
Well, he was in the papers a lot at one time. Parties, charities, that sort of thing. He made a lot of money in plastics after the war. Then his business went bust and he lost everything.
You didn't like her, did you?
Not much, no.
But you're not going to be foolish enough to say so to the police.
I remember you telling me once that at the heart of everything there isn't love, but cruelty. Do you remember?
Did I? There, now these can cool.
Security. Oh, hello. I'm calling to inquire about the possibility of tracing someone.
UK or abroad?
In England. Could you give me an idea of your charges?
That's by arrangement according to the assignment, but there would be an initial deposit of £200.
200? Oh, right. Well, I'll think about it. Thank you. Hello? Is Miss Caroline Amphlett at home, please?
Who's speaking?
My name is John McLean. We're old friends.
Old friends, really? How strange then that I don't know you, and that you apparently don't know that Miss Amphlett no longer lives here.
Is it her mother I'm talking to?
No, Mr. McLean, I'm not her mother. This is Miss Beasley, the housekeeper, speaking.
Oh, Miss Beasley, right?
That's right, yes. I'm surprised you needed to ask.
It is the Miss Amphlett who worked at Larksoken.
Larksoken? If you know that, Mr. McLean, why bother to ring me? Stupid man, Maxie. But then they all are, aren't they, darling?
Mrs. Potter?
Yeah?
Well, my name's Dalgleish. Your son has been doing some work for me, fixing a window.
Neville.
Well, he left this behind. I was passing, so I thought I might drop it in. He's not around by any chance, is he? There is something else I'd like him to do for me.
Haven't seen him for days. Don't know where he is. Doesn't bother. Doesn't care.
Well, he does a good job. He takes trouble. And perhaps I may leave this with him.
Leave what you like, so long as it's not the door open. So, you want to talk to Neville? He hasn't nicked anything from you.
Not that I know of.
You want to watch him? His little weakness. You sure that isn't why you're here?
What kind of things?
Ah?
Why do you mention it, Mrs. Potter?
Yeah, little runt. Too like his father for my liking. Not much of a man, if you know what I mean. Married a few years back, Neville. Didn't last, of course. Didn't think it would. I couldn't stand her. Oh, yeah. Made in Taiwan, stuffed in chroma. Fancy a drink?
No thanks, no.
Not very sociable. What's your name? First name?
Adam.
Lillian. I couldn't persuade you to,
No, thanks very much.
A few years ago, you wouldn't have believed your luck. Go on, then. Your loss. You sure he didn't send you?
Why should he? Goodbye.
You always keep this door unlocked, do you?
During the day, yes.
Aren't you afraid of theft?
This is Lark's second, Sergeant, not London.
Right then. This is the sort of thing we're looking for.
Oh, we did have a pair of those, yes. Shoes are always kept in this box. How odd.
You don't happen to remember who brought them in, do you?
Yes, Miles Lessingham from the power station. They were almost new.
Really? When was this?
Oh, about a week ago. He brought several things, I remember. He'd been tidying out the boat.
It didn't strike you as odd, did it, that the trainers were in such good condition?
No. He did say they weren't half as comfortable as they looked.
He said that, did he? So, last Sunday night, the night Miss Robarts was murdered, you were here all evening. You didn't take the copies to Norwich?
No, the car broke down. I went round to the garage about 6:30 to get it out and bring it round to the front of the house, but by the time I'd got them packed up and ready to leave, it wouldn't restart.
What time would that have been?
Oh, about 7:15, thereabouts. I rang Mr. Sparks and asked him to take them in his taxi.
What, you rang the taxi straight away? You didn't wait to try and find out what was wrong with the car yourself?
Well, there wasn't time. Not that I'm a mechanic. It was just luck that Mr. Sparks could take them in.
And all this was, what, 3/4 of an hour before you needed to leave?
Have you ever tried to get two elderly people off on an indefinite stay?
Did you leave the car unlocked when you went in to get them?
Yes.
Hmm.
You're not suggesting that it was sabotaged?
Well, that would be a little fanciful, wouldn't it, Mrs. Dennison? Car's all right now, though, is it?
Yes. Started first thing in the morning. Strange, but it happens.
Yes, I suppose it does. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Mrs. Dennison.
Goodbye.
Oh, one moment, Mrs. Dennison. Would it surprise you to know that Mr. Sparks rang you at 9:30 on Sunday night, just to let you know that the Copley's were safely on their way, but he got no reply?
Oh. Oh, I must have been out in the garden. Yes, it was a beautiful, calm moonlight night, I remember.
In the garden? What, with the whistler at large?
He kills out in the open, never near a house.
And you went no further than the garden?
I went no further than the garden.
And yet you didn't hear the phone?
It's a large garden.
But it was a quiet night, Mrs. Dennison. You said so yourself. Well, thanks for your help. She's lying about that evening, you know.
Sir?
Mrs. Dennison. She used to be a teacher in London. Teachers shouldn't lie, should they, Jumbo?
Afternoon.
Good afternoon. She's been sold, has she?
Oh, yes, sold this one a couple of weeks ago. Not the prettiest, certainly, but all the power you could wish for. Guzzles fuel by the tankful.
Seagull, too?
The gannet, we tend to call her. You're well off without this one, but we've got plenty of others there if you're interested.
Oh, no, I'm not really a sailor.
Nor was Nelson.
So I've been told.
Neither, I'm sad to say, is her new owner. A girl from the power station. Blonde. Rather good looking.
But not much of a sailor?
No. Leather soles, granny knots, the usual. Certainly knew what she wanted, though.
Really?
Oh, very much so. Extra fuel tanks, Full mechanical overhaul, VHF, the lot. Cash on the nail, he's complaining. No, my treat.
No, I can't. Please.
No, I wouldn't dream of it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This is a perfect place, isn't it?
Until the plans go in for the new marina.
Really?
No, I'm only joking. It's bound to happen one day, though. We turn the world into a wilderness, and yet we have the nerve to call it peace. That's her, over there. That's the girl who's bought Seagull, too.
Now then, look at this one. Now, there's almost something too neat about it. The way the clothes are neatly folded and left at the side. Even the cut on the forehead looks different.
What do forensics say?
Well, they're hedging their bets. You know, the balance of probabilities would suggest blah, blah, blah.
So what are you saying?
What if the murderer of Hilary Robarts is not the Whistler, but somebody totally different? Somebody with a real motive for killing her. And now they're trying to add this murder to the Whistler's list of crimes.
Well, then how would they know the M.O., the Whistler's trademarks?
Well, let's think about it. Let's see who's got a motive. Ryan Blaney, for instance. Right. Now, can you remember that dinner party at the mayor's? What stage of his account Miles Lessingham had reached when Blaney's daughter came in?
Teresa? Well, he was describing the body as he found it, if I remember.
Well, there's every reason to believe that she heard about the cut on the forehead and the pubic hair.
Yeah, but would she have told her father about it, about the hair, a girl like that?
Oh, come on, you're 60 years out of date. You go in any secondary school, you hear things you can't believe.
So what you're saying, that if it wasn't the Whistler, it was someone who knew the Whistler's methods down to the last detail?
Exactly.
You opt for Blaney, you're also going to have to prove he destroyed his own painting. I can't see him doing that.
Well, from what I saw, it wasn't anything particularly special.
No, was he? And then, of course, if you believe Miss Mayer, your case against Blaney collapses anyway. Do you want some more?
No, thanks. I'm very full.
Good. I mean, she claims she saw him at his cottage at 9:45, by which time he was already drunk. The victim's hair was damp when I found her, which suggests that she died after a swim, not before it. There's no way he could have committed the murder at 9:15 and then been back home within half an hour. Not without a vehicle, which of course we know he doesn't have.
What about a bicycle? Has he got a bike?
Yes, but the tide was in. He'd have to pedal along the shingle. That would have taken him twice as long as walking. Let's go in the other room.
Well, when I come to arrest somebody for this crime, and I'm convinced I will, I hope it doesn't have to be Ryan Blaney. Those kids have suffered enough already. But no one had a stronger motive than him. He hated Robarts. He hated her so much I don't think he could have conceded even if he tried.
But he didn't try. By the way, did Neil Pascoe get in touch with you?
Yes. And if my hunch is right, he's another strong contender. Robarts was suing him, wasn't she?
Well, that brings us back to the question of the trademarks. How would someone like Neil Pascoe have known about them?
Well, I can't guarantee that every officer on the case has been totally discreet. Pascoe drinks in the local pubs. He might have picked something up.
Supposition. He told you that Hilary Robarts was putting pressure on Toby Gledhill.
She might have also been putting pressure on Alex Mayer.
Well, if she was, she certainly wasn't using their relationship as blackmail. Neither of them were married, they weren't deceiving anyone, they weren't causing a public scandal. And I can't see Alex Mayer being forced to do anything he didn't want.
Well, I've not crossed him off my list yet.
Excuse me. Dalglish? Yes, of course. Hold on. It's feverish, your sergeant.
Yeah? Well, go on. Send a WPC. I'll be right over. It's Teresa Blaney. Something's happened to her. I better get over there.
Got my message then? How soon can you make it?
Until this afternoon.
Well, can't you get Neil to keep an eye on the child?
Timmy. His name's Timmy. No, not until later. We're out shopping. Why the change of plan? Alex, are you still there?
I need to see you. Is that too difficult to understand?
No, of course not. Look, I'll get away as soon as I can. Between 2:30 and 3, is that all right?
Usual place?
Yeah. I've got to go. Bye.
6 deaths now. What with this suicide, they're trying to tell us there's nothing to do with it.
Toby Gledhill didn't kill anyone.
That's all to do with that power station. The evil of a place like that. What about your newsletter? Can't you do something instead of just talk?
I'm sorry, Mr. Mitchell. I'm so sorry.
Come in.
Of course.
All right.
Fine.
You don't look very well.
I'll be down in a minute, Dad.
All right.
coffee for the workers.
Oh, Ta. Thanks very much.
No, I love. All right.
Cheers.
How did you discover that Hilary Robarts had been murdered?
I saw the police cars passing, didn't I? Cycled up and waited by the gate. As soon as they returned, asked them what was up.
You seem to have an extraordinary talent for extracting information from the police.
Well, I know most of them, you see. The local lads, anyway. They often drink in here, don't they? Darts, skittles. I asked them who was dead and they told me. I mean, I know a mortuary van when I see one.
Who exactly was it told you that?
Ah, well, I couldn't say, could I? I mean, one policeman looks very much like another, so they tell me.
Why did you ring Ryan Blaney?
Well, why not? When you've got news, it's human nature to pass it on to an interested party.
Do you know anything about a painting that Ryan Blaney did of Hilary Robarts?
Oh, that. Of course we do. George let him hang it here for a while. Daft sod.
What was daft about that?
Evil picture, if ever I saw one. I knew it would bring bad luck. I said so at the time.
It was a picture, Doris. Pictures can't be evil. Evil is what is done by people.
And what is thought by people, George. And that picture came out of evil thoughts.
Was the painting for sale?
No, not that one. I want them all to look at it, that's what he said. Tell you one person who did see it, though. Hilary Robarts.
When? When was that?
Oh, the evening after he brought it in. She just stood and stared. Everyone was watching, of course, wondering what she was going to do. Then she turned, walked back to the bar and said she changed her mind about drinking here.
Not exactly popular in the district, eh?
Not too popular in this pub, anyway. She was doing all she could to get Blaney out of the cottage. Still, I'm sorry she's dead. Well, I mean, you have to be, don't you?
Was that the last time you saw her?
Well, it's the last time George saw her. I saw her Sunday afternoon out by Neil Pascoe's caravan with Neil and Amy, when I was delivering the parish magazines.
What time was that, then?
I deliver all the parish magazines.
Yeah, except the Blaney's.
Yeah, well, they wouldn't, would they? They're RCs. At least she was. He's an artist. RCs don't have parish magazines.
Well, they might.
Look, 4 years I've been behind that bar, never once have I seen Father McGee with a parish magazine.
Well, that doesn't mean anything, does it?
Of course it does. They're different from us. No parish magazines, no harvest festivals.
Yeah, but that's not what it's to do with, is it? It's to do with dogma. Different dogmas.
Fine, fine. So you were out delivering the parish magazine when you saw Hilary Robarts with Neil Pascoe and Amy. What time would that have been?
Oh, about 2:30.
And what were they doing?
Standing there while she shouted at them. Not the kind of words you'd expect to hear on a Sunday, either. Poor Neil. He looked so miserable, I had to say something to cheer him up.
What was that?
I said she was a vicious, evil-minded old cow and someday someone would do her in.
Don't leave it out, Doris.
Well, I wasn't far wrong, was I? Anyway, nothing happened. She just got in her car and drove away.
And was that the last time you saw her?
Yeah, I did hear her later. I was posting a magazine through a letterbox and she was arguing with someone inside.
Who with, a man or a woman?
Don't know, could have been either. I only heard her. Unless, of course, she was shouting at herself. I mean, anything's possible. That must have been about 4 fraction after. I was back here by 1:30, wasn't I?
No idea, darling. Fast asleep.
Typical.
Teddy's in there. Go and see Teddy.
Caroline, it's me. Doesn't look as if I were to get back much before 5. If the inspectorate ring, try me on the car phone. Otherwise, I'm unobtainable.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
Fine, fine.
Doctor, bloody doctor.
He's on call. He'll be with you as soon as he can.
Well, how soon is that going to be?
I can't be sure exactly.
Well, it's not good enough. It's not good enough.
Alex! Alex! Ow! You could give someone a heart attack.
Who?
Me.
I thought you'd never come.
I got away as soon as I could.
I needed to talk.
About us.
Oh, amongst other things. You heard about the suicide?
Toby, yes.
You knew him?
He visited Neil once or twice. I'm sorry about him, but what's that got to do with us?
Made me think about a lot of things. Important things. Amy.
It would never work. You and me, together. It just couldn't work. Out here like this, it's different. It's exciting, it's fun. We couldn't live together. I'm not in the real world.
You mean all this has just been a game for you?
No, no, of course not. It's just, well, other things are too important to you.
My work, you mean? I could learn to be different.
But then I wouldn't fancy you, would I?
There's no answer then. And it isn't Neil.
No. Time for me to be leaving soon.
You've only just come.
Not here. It's time for me to be moving on. Somewhere else. I can't stay forever.
And with that, the big bunny bounded hippity-hoppity back into the woods. Mommy be back soon.
Come.
Should be here any minute. Mr. Blaney, people don't die of appendicitis. Not these days.
Not as a rule.
Daddy, I'm not gonna die, am I?
Of course not, chicken. You heard the doctor. Appendicitis, that's all.
I need to see Father McKee.
Tomorrow, after the operation. I'll talk to him. I promise he'll visit you. Now, you just lie still.
But I need to see him now. It's urgent. There's something I have to tell him.
Tomorrow, chicken. Tomorrow.
Right, we're going to need a chair and a blanket.
But I have to tell someone. Can I tell you then?
All right, if you must.
That night. The night Miss Robarts died. I was there. I crept up to the ruins. And I saw her running into the sea for a swim.
All right, all right, all right.
But it isn't. Don't you see? The Whistler.
I know. Don't worry, it'll be all right.
But Dad, I wasn't the only one. There was someone else on the headland. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Dad! Dad!
Now then, don't worry, you'll be all right, and I'll be right behind you in the car, okay?